We got full charge right here. This thing has incredible range, and look at this. You got power on tap, punch it, and you're good to go. This thing is so smooth, so awesome to drive. It's extremely nice. This one has about 95% power. This one has about 95% battery, and it has 368-mile range. So the most range you have in any Tesla is the Model S long range. So that's what this one is, and that's kind of the beauty, the gem, the secret sauce of this particular Model S, in that it's not the fastest one. It's 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds, which is still pretty darn fast. Look at this, it's crazy, right? Still really fast, but it has that range, that 370-ish mile range is the most of any Tesla. It's crazy, unless you compare that to the Cybertruck with the battery extender, but we don't have that yet. So this one currently is the longest range of any Tesla, even more than the Model X, because it's a lighter weight vehicle than the Model X. So yeah, what do I like about this vehicle? Test driving it, taking it home for a night. By the way, if you want to test drive your Tesla, there's a link down below where you can go and sign up for a test drive. If you want to take it home overnight, just let them know that you want to experience in your garage, drive it around a little bit around town to see how it really is before you make a decision. They're very easy about that, because the whole idea of the test drive is to get you involved in owning the car, to make you feel like it's your car. And truthfully, if you're making a decision, you should at least do a test drive to see how well it fits in your garage, how well it fits in your lifestyle, how your kids are going to like it, how your spouse is going to like it, and all that. And again, extended drive is actually really good, because a small test drive for 15 minutes just really doesn't do it, because you want to be able to drive over the roads that you normally do, the bumps that you normally do, and just experience the feel of the vehicle. So it's about 9:40-ish a.m. We need to go back to Tesla of Fremont to return this by 10 a.m. So we're going to be right there on the edge of time. So we're going to be able to punch it, because we actually need to punch it a little bit to make sure we get there on time. But just a recap, I've mentioned it before, the suspension is really good on the Model S, and it's about the same as the Model X. Maybe there's subtle difference, but to me, it's very comfortable, much more comfortable than the 3 and the Y for sure. Cybertruck wise, I think this is still more comfortable than the Cybertruck, just because the Cybertruck is just bigger, heavier, higher up, and we have the all-terrain wheels on the Cybertruck. So here we go, we're gonna get out of this lane right here, and we may just punch it a little bit right here. Wow! So fast, amazing power on tap. So yeah, so we have the navigation, we can hit that, and we have navigation right here. But the cool thing about this compared to my Model Y and Model 3 is that you have the navigation right here too. And believe it or not, I really like this feature, because you can have aftermarket screen, but you don't get the navigation right here. Plus you have all the display GUI right here. So you know, all that virtualization when you're parking, or when there's a car next to you, or if you're doing autopilot, like you hit this for autopilot, you see it's right in front of you. It's very helpful, and your speed is here, your maximum speed is up there, and their time and everything is here. You literally don't need this unless you want to activate all the controls, then you need this. But this screen right here is the place where you're going to spend most of your time, and it makes sense because you're looking at the road and you glance down here, road glance, much easier than looking over here for the speed, because like I can't even see the speed. Actually, they don't even have the speed on this one anymore. That's interesting, because the Model Y, the speed is here, but the Model S, the speed is gone because it's actually here, which I really like. Seating position is definitely more comfortable than the Cybertruck, because it's just softer seating. Not as soft as the Model Y, but about the same in terms of comfort, right? This one has a little bit more bolstering than the Model Y, but if you compare it to the Cybertruck, definitely the Model S is a more luxurious feeling vehicle. You also sit lower to the ground, similar to the Model 3, so you feel more connected with the road as opposed to the Model Y or the Model X. It is at the higher price point at around $80,000 for the base Model S long range, which what this one is. It does 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds, so it's really fast for what it is. The Plaid version of this is the incredible fastest Tesla in the market. 1.99 0 to 60, incredible speed, right? And that one is about $90,000. I would get that one if money is no object and you like the Model S, right? But of course, like we mentioned before, every model in the Tesla lineup has its purpose. The Model 3 is more compact, much lower price point, and the Model Y is a bigger Model 3 at a much lower price point than the Model X. but in terms of space and storage, the Model Y actually has a little bit more storage capacity than the Model S. However, not by much. I was surprised how much storage we have in this Model S, because unlike the Model 3, the Model S is a hatchback. So as you can see, that when you open it back up there, it will have a bigger, wider opening so you can put more stuff, versus a traditional trunk where you have a little bit smaller opening and also just less height, less room for high stuff, right? So yeah, it's a very comfortable drive, and it has a lot of good Apple storage, and the punch right here, it's just like, you want it, you go. It's like, it's so good, so good. Yeah, it's fantastic. Let me know if you have any comments, any questions. Oh, I should talk about build quality. So let me signal out of this lane real quick, and we're gonna go ahead and go 3.3 miles up here. So we're good right there. Let it go on autopilot so we can chill for a little bit. Yeah, so in terms of build quality, I feel like the material on the Model S is better materials than the Model Y that we have. Like, everything feels a little bit more premium. The seats are a little bit nicer. Everything is a little bit better in terms of the material, right? However, the build quality is a little bit different. I noticed some creaks and rattles on this car already, and this one is a brand new car. This is a Tesla demo vehicle, whereas our Model Y, no creaks, no rattles. So build quality is better on the Model Y than the Model S, and that's actually something that a lot of people know and aware of. I think it has to do with research and development. Tesla spends so much time and also building so many Model Ys and Model 3 that they fine-tune the process to really have really good build quality, versus the Model S, although they're using higher quality material, they don't build as many, so they don't get to refine that build quality over time just yet. But interestingly enough, they have learned from all of the building and assembly of all their vehicles. So when they made the Cybertruck, that one has the best build quality of any Tesla I've ever been in, and it is solid. Yes, I did have some loose bolts, and they fixed it up, but like in terms of noise rattling, the parts and trim falling apart, I felt that it was much better build than even my Model Y, which we already know and discussed is better than the Model S. So build quality on the Model S, this one is kind of on the lower end. Material wise is good. The Prestige is nice because when you drive around, you don't see a lot of Model S around. You're like the only one in most cases, which gives you a little bit of a nice feeling, right? Like you have a vehicle that is a little bit more expensive than a 3 and a Y, and a lot of people don't have it, so you feel a little bit special. And I can feel this, and I can say the same reason why I like the Cybertruck, right? Because I want to have something a little bit more special than what everyone else has. So that's what the Model S gives you, but not over the top, right? The Cybertruck is actually over the top. It's a little bit too big to fit in my garage. It does fit into a standard 20 feet garage, but for me, it doesn't fit in my garage. And the Cybertruck currently right now, and I think for the next several years, it's just going to get a lot of attention. So if you don't want the attention, but you also want to be a little bit more special than the Model Y and the Model 3, then the S, or actually the X, is right there with you. The X does get a little bit more profile because of the Falcon Wing doors, which are crazy, by the way. But yeah, so this is the Model S. We've been driving it since last night. We took quote-unquote delivery of it around 5:30, 6 p.m. and they let us borrow it overnight. We did charge it to 100% power at the supercharger. And quick tip, if you didn't know, if you take a Tesla loaner overnight, or so not loaner, but a demo vehicle overnight for a test drive, you can charge at the supercharger and it doesn't charge you money because it's still part of Tesla's property. But the reason why you would want to do that is because electric vehicles are interesting in a way where you get more power, more performance when the battery is higher charge. It's just the way it works because the voltage is higher, the potential is higher. So when you do the 0 to 60 launch, it's faster when you're at a full state of charge. So that's why I charged it so I can really feel the launch. And the first time I took a loaner was a Model 3 Highland, and I didn't know. I charged it at home and I had to pay for my own electricity. So a lesson that I learned this time is I went to the supercharger, plug it in, and it just uses the Tesla credits, not mine, but Tesla's own system because it's already registered to Tesla. So you just plug it in and charge it up. It was smooth. So That was my experience with the test drive. If you're kind of on the fence about the Model S, the Model X, 3 or Y, just test drive it for overnight and really experience it for it, and get a good feel for how it would fit in your daily lives. I mean, that's what it's for, right? To really take it home and experience it. And I wouldn't hesitate if you're kind of deciding between the Model Y and the Model S, do one Model S and then the next day schedule the Y, right? So that you can get back-to-back feeling. Or if you're curious about the 3 and the S, do the back-to-back, or the X and the Y, do the back-to-back, or the S and the S, do the back-to-back. You can actually do all 3 vehicles, or even all 4. All 4 is a bit hard, because like, are you seriously test driving all 4? So if you want to do all 4, maybe have your spouse sign up for the other ones, or just space it out, or really talk to them to see if you can get them to give you all 4. At that point, you probably want to just do like a quick parking lot drive, or maybe a 15-minute drive before you decide, okay, it's really between these 2, and then you take those 2 home for the night. The only thing that Tesla will not let you test drive is the Cybertruck, unfortunately. But if you're ever in the Bay Area, or you're ever at a EV meet and you see me, let me know. I might be able to give you a test drive and you can drive my Cybertruck. So yeah, I would love to see you guys in a Tesla, because for me, I've been driving sports car for all my life. I have the Acura NSX, as you know, the Honda S2000. I love those vehicles. But after I got into a Tesla, all that changed, because the Tesla is just like the modern technology. And as a tech geek, I have the latest iPhone, I have all the fancy MacBooks, monitors, and all that, and it just feels right to be in a Tesla, because you get to enjoy all these nicer digital technology. And like, the coolest thing is, it's like literally having an iPhone that updates itself and gets better over time, because the software on the Teslas, they do get better over time. For example, this upcoming update, the spring update, is going to give my Cybertruck a better turn radius. That's crazy, right? A software upgrade can do that. And then it's going to update the map, the UI on the more modern Model S and the Model X, 3 and Y too. So the UI is going to be better. They're updating autopilot, so it's getting better with the version 12. I'm going to get a power share feature on my Cybertruck, and sometimes it kind of is a double-edged sword, because like for my Cybertruck, it's supposed to have full self-driving, because I pay for full self-driving, but it's actually not enabled yet, and they're going to enable in a future update. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, but it's kind of cool at the same point that a lot of the safety recalls can also be adjusted as a software update too. Not all recalls, but some. So it's kind of nice to be on the cutting edge of technology. And just having a car that you can charge at night and wake up in the morning with a full tank of gas, quote unquote, full tank of charge, is really nice, because you never need to go to a gas station. However, on the flip side, if you do road trips a lot, yes, it will take you longer, and it's going to be more of an inconvenience to do a road trip with a Tesla. And the fact is, it's true with any EV, but less so with a Tesla, right? Because with Teslas, you have a lot of superchargers in the network, so you can easily find charging station and charge it. It's just that, yes, you still have to be at each charging station for about 25 minutes on average, and then you do have to stop every 2.5 hours or so. With the Cybertruck, we were stopping at every about 2 hours. With the Model S, the long range, this one, you can probably get around maybe 2.5, maybe closer to 2 hours and 45 minutes on one charge. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, all in all, it's a fantastic experience having an EV, whether it's a 3, the Y, the S, the X, or even a Cybertruck. I would say if you just want to experience it and you don't have a lot of money to spend, just getting a used Model 3 right now, the prices are literally crashing on a used Model 3. And the reason why that is the case is because the Model 3 has been around for a very, very long time, more so than the Model Y. And they're already cheaper than the Model S by nature, right? So even if you get the very, very, very old Model S, it's still more expensive than the very, very, very old Model 3. And with the old Model 3, yes, you may not have all the latest technology and gadgets as the newest Model 3, but it's like buying an iPhone 6 or iPhone 5 compared to having a Nokia flip phone, like a non-Tesla, right? So you do get really hype into the ecosystem and you experience like 95% of the Tesla current technology, even with an old 2018 Model 3. So I would recommend, if you're on a super tight budget, you can go for a used Model 3. If you have a little bit more budget and you want more cargo space, then go for a used Model Y. However, if you like the sporty feeling, the used Model 3 still might be the best bet because it's sportier than the Model Y. And then of course, if you have a little bit more money to spend, you can look for a Model S, which is a little bit more sporty. It has a little bit more space than the Model 3, but not quite as much space as the Model Y. More closer to the Model Y than the Model 3 though, because the Model S has that hatch. And then if you want a lot of space, then get a used Model X. However, I will warn you, the used Model X do have a lot of issues with the doors. And like we mentioned earlier in this video, the build quality, even in this 2024 Model S, is still not top notch. You can imagine the older Model S will have worse build quality. And I mean, it is the fact, because Tesla has just started building cars and they were learning how to build cars with higher tolerances, and the build quality just wasn't there with the older Model S. So just keep that in mind. So yeah, that's kind of the experience of owning a Tesla, and I would recommend you guys take a look at one. At the very minimum, just test drive one. It doesn't hurt, and it's kind of a free date. So if you use the link down below, you can schedule a test drive, super easy. And the cool thing is, if you do the overnight, you can even plan your quote-unquote date nights or a family night. So what you do is you schedule an overnight to pick up the car at around 5:30 p.m. So, you know, you would go home from work, pick up the wife and kids, drive to the Tesla location, pick up the vehicle, and then drive to dinner, get some drinks, maybe go for a movie, then drive home, rest up and sleep, then wake up in the morning. If you guys are early birds, you can go for some coffee, some breakfast, and then drive to the Tesla to drop off the vehicle. And the cool thing is, you don't have to pay for quote-unquote gas or electric, right? Because you're using the charge that comes with the vehicle, and then if you need to supercharge, you can supercharge on Tesla's account. So it's kind of a cool thing to be able to do. I'm not saying to take advantage of Tesla that way, but if you're kind of on a boat of trying to see if a Tesla will be something that you want in your life, then it's kind of a two birds with one stone, right? Enjoy it for a family night or a date night, and then also see if it's the right fit for you. All right, well, that is pretty much the end of this video. I am so happy that I got to test drive the Model S, and if you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. I'd be happy to answer as many questions as possible, and there is a referral link too. So if you use the referral link, it will give you some incentives. The incentives changes all the time, so you don't know until you click on the link. Sometimes it's like 3 months of full self-driving. Sometimes it's 6 months. Sometimes it is a discounted amount, or sometimes it's some points. I have no idea. But if you don't click on the link and you purchase your Tesla or you test drive your Tesla, then you miss out. But if you click on the link, it doesn't hurt. It can only help. All right, guys. I'll catch you later. Peace. We out. Bye.